Claude just made 90% of data visualization tools obsolete, and it happened in a single update.
Wait, are you saying Claude can replace actual charting software now? So we're covering what it can actually build, the limitations, and how it stacks up against Google and OpenAI's offerings.
By minute 4, you'll know exactly which visualization tasks to delegate to Claude today. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the AI Daily Podcast, today's news and a deep dive to help you stay ahead in AI.
Today, we're diving into Anthropic's Claude can now draw interactive charts and diagrams.
Stick around to the end for today's headlines. Let's dive right in.
So, Anthropic just dropped something that completely changes the game for AI assistants. Claude can now create interactive charts and diagrams on the fly, and this is way bigger than it sounds on the surface.
Interactive charts? Like actual data visualizations that you can manipulate?
Exactly. Not just static images. We're talking about compound interest calculators, flow diagrams, interactive dashboards, the kind of stuff you'd normally fire up Tableau or D3JS for. And here's what's fascinating. Anthropic has been notably absent from the multimedia AI race while OpenAI and Google were building image generators and video models.
So they skipped right past static images and went straight to interactive visualizations. That's an interesting strategy.
It really is, and the timing here is crucial. OpenAI added data analysis capabilities to ChatGPT back in October 2023. Google's Gemini got advanced visualization features in May 2024, and now Claude jumps in with this. But here's the kicker. These aren't permanent artifacts. They're ephemeral, changing throughout your conversation.
Wait, ephemeral? So you can't save them or export them?
Right. They don't go into Claude's artifacts drawer. They're in line with a chat, meant to enhance understanding in the moment. Think of it like having a data analyst sitting next to you, sketching out visualizations on a whiteboard as you talk through a problem.
But doesn't that limit the usefulness? I mean, if I'm creating a chart for a presentation or report.
That's exactly the tension here. Anthropic is positioning this as an aid to understanding, not a replacement for your BI tools. But let me tell you about my experiment with it. I asked Claude to draw an airport traffic pattern diagram, something pilots use all the time. It mostly got it right, created this nice interactive chart with all the correct labels, except it completely botched the midfield crosswind entry positioning.
Oh no, Claude's not getting its pilot's license?
Definitely not. But here's what's interesting. It took about 30 seconds to generate that diagram. In that same time, I could have done a Google image search and found hundreds of accurate diagrams. So we're looking at speed versus customization trade-off.
That's a critical point. 30 seconds is an eternity in today's instant gratification world.
Exactly. And this raises bigger questions about where AI assistants are heading. We're seeing this shift from pure text generation to multimodal capabilities, but each company is taking a different path. OpenAI went broad with images, audio, and video. Google leveraged their search capabilities. And now Anthropic, the company founded on AI safety principles, is going after business analytics.
The AI safety angle is interesting. How do safety considerations even apply to data visualization?
Great question. Think about it. Misleading visualizations can be just as dangerous as misleading text. A poorly scaled y-axis, cherry-picked data ranges, or incorrect correlations presented as causation, these are all ways that visualizations can deceive, intentionally or not.
And now we're automating that process.
Precisely. This isn't just about technical capability, it's about trust, accuracy, and the democratization of data analysis. When anyone can say, Claude, show me how our Q4 revenue trends compared to last year, and get an instant visualization, what happens to the role of data analysts? What happens to data literacy? Coming up, we'll dig into exactly how Claude pulls this off technically, what it means for enterprise adoption, and why this might be the feature that finally gets AI assistants into the C-suite. All right, let's break down what's actually happening under the hood here.
Claude isn't just generating static SVGs or PNGs, it's creating fully interactive web components using JavaScript, HTML5 Canvas, and modern charting libraries.
So it's essentially writing code on the fly to create these visualizations.
Exactly. And this is where Anthropic's strong coding capabilities really shine. Claude has always been exceptional at generating clean, functional code. Now they're leveraging that to create data visualizations. I've been testing it, and it's generating everything from chart.js implementations to custom d3.js visualizations, all in line in the chat.
That's impressive, but I'm wondering about the computational overhead. Generating and executing JavaScript in real time for every visualization request.
You're hitting on a key challenge. This isn't just about generating text anymore. It's about generating, validating, and executing code in a sandboxed environment. Anthropic hasn't released specifics, but based on the 30-second generation times I'm seeing, they're clearly doing significant processing. Compare that to ChatGPT's code interpreter, which typically takes 5 to 10 seconds for similar tasks.
3 times slower is a big difference. What's the trade-off for that extra time?
From what I can tell, it's about interactivity and customization. ChatGPT tends to generate static matplotlib charts. Claude is building actual web applications. I asked both to create a compound interest calculator. ChatGPT gave me a static graph. Claude gave me sliders to adjust the principal, interest rate, and time period in real time.
Okay, that's actually pretty compelling for exploratory data analysis.
It is, but here's where things get interesting from an enterprise perspective. Most companies have strict policies about where their data can go. With traditional BI tools, your data stays in your infrastructure. With Claude, you're sending that data to Anthropic servers for processing.
That's a non-starter for a lot of organizations.
Absolutely, and it gets more complex. Let's say you're a financial services company. You ask Claude to visualize customer transaction patterns. Not only are you sending sensitive data externally, but you're also trusting an AI to correctly represent that data without introducing bias or errors.
Speaking of errors, you mentioned Claude messed up that airport diagram. How common are these mistakes?
In my testing, I'd say about 15 to 20% of complex visualizations have some kind of error. Simple bar charts and line graphs, usually perfect. But when you get into specialized domains, scientific plots, engineering diagrams, financial models, that's where things get dicey. Claude might use the wrong scale, misinterpret relationships, or, like with my airport example, just get the spatial relationships wrong.
That error rate is concerning for business-critical decisions.
Here's the thing, though. Human-created visualizations have errors, too. How many times have you seen a presentation or someone accidentally used the wrong data series or mislabeled an access? The difference is accountability. When a human makes that mistake, there's someone to blame. When Claude does it,
You can't fire an AI.
exactly. But let me share something fascinating about the technical implementation. Claude isn't just blindly generating code, it's actually creating a multi-step process. First, it analyzes your data or request, then it selects an appropriate visualization type, generates the code, and even adds error handling and fallbacks.
How sophisticated is this selection process?
Pretty sophisticated. I threw some tricky scenarios at it. Asked for a visualization showing the relationship between temperature and ice cream sales. It automatically chose a scatter plot with a trend line. Asked about quarterly revenue over 3 years. It went with a grouped bar chart. It's making the same decisions a junior data analyst would make.
That's the democratization angle you mentioned earlier.
Precisely. And here's where the market dynamics get really interesting. Tableau licenses start at $75 per user per month. Power BI is $10 per user. Claude Pro is $20 per month and includes everything else Claude can do. For small businesses or departments without dedicated analysts, this could be a game changer.
But what about advanced features? Calculated fields, complex joins, real-time data connections?
That's the current limitation. Claude is great for ad hoc analysis and exploratory visualization, but it's not replacing your enterprise BI stack. It's more like Imagine if every employee had a junior data analyst on call. They can't do everything your senior analyst can do, but they can handle 80% of the day-to-day visualization needs.
What about the competitive response? OpenAI and Google aren't going to sit still.
They won't. In fact, I'd bet we see similar features from both within 3 to 6 months. The technical barriers aren't that high. It's more about execution and integration. The real question is who can make it fast enough, accurate enough, and trustworthy enough for enterprise adoption. Stick around. In our final segment, we'll give you the exact framework for evaluating whether Claude's visualization features are right for your organization, plus what this means for the future of data analysis. All right, let's get practical. If you're a platform engineer or tech leader listening to this, here's your decision framework for Claude's visualization features.
Start with the use cases where it actually makes sense.
First tier, exploratory data analysis and prototyping. You've got a CSV file, you need quick insights, you don't want to spin up a Jupyter notebook. Claude excels here. Second tier, educational and explanatory visualizations, teaching someone about compound interest, explaining a complex process. Perfect fit. Third tier, and this is where it gets tricky, production dashboards and reports.
I'm guessing that third tier is where we need to be careful.
Very careful. Here's my checklist. 1, data sensitivity. Can this data leave your infrastructure? If not, full stop. 2, accuracy requirements. Can you tolerate a 15 to 20% error rate that requires human verification? 3, speed. Is 30 seconds acceptable for your use case? 4, persistence. Do you need to save, share, or embed these visualizations?
That's a pretty restrictive set of criteria.
It is, but here's what I'm seeing successful teams do. They're using Claude as a first-pass tool. A data scientist gets a new data set, asks Claude to explore it, identify patterns, suggest visualizations. Then they take those insights and build the production-ready versions in their traditional tools. It's cutting exploration time by 50 to 70%.
So it's augmentation, not replacement.
Exactly. And here's what to watch for in the next 6 to 12 months. First, speed improvements. That 30-second generation time will come down to under 10 seconds. Second, accuracy improvements, especially in specialized domains. Third, and this is the big one, local deployment options for enterprise customers.
Local deployment, like running Claude on premises?
Think about it. Anthropic's main differentiator has been AI safety and responsibility. Offering enterprise customers a way to run these visualization capabilities within their own infrastructure would be a natural extension. It solves the data privacy concerns while maintaining the ease of use.
That would be a game changer for financial services and healthcare.
Now, let me give you 3 specific actions you can take this week. 1, if you have Claude access, spend an hour testing it with your actual data, not toy data sets, real stuff. See where it breaks. 2, document those failure modes. What types of visualizations does it struggle with? What domain-specific knowledge does it lack? 3, and this is crucial, start thinking about governance.
Governance for AI-generated visualizations?
Absolutely. Who in your organization is allowed to generate visualizations with AI? What's the review process? How do you label AI-generated charts versus human-created ones? These policies need to be in place before, not after, widespread adoption.
That's not something most organizations are thinking about yet.
Which is exactly why you need to be ahead of the curve. Here's my prediction. Within 18 months, AI-generated visualizations will be as common as AI-generated text is today. The organizations that figure out how to leverage this safely and effectively will have a significant competitive advantage.
What about the human element, the data analysts and BI developers?
This is where I'm actually optimistic. Remember when everyone thought GitHub Copilot would replace programmers? Instead, it made them more productive. I see the same thing happening here. Junior analysts will use these tools to level up quickly. Senior analysts will focus on the complex, high-value work that AI can't handle yet.
The yet is doing a lot of work in that sense.
Fair point. But here's my closing thought. We're watching the democratization of data analysis in real time. Just like spreadsheets didn't replace accountants but made everyone a bit more capable with numbers, AI visualization tools won't replace data analysts, but will make everyone a bit more capable with data.
That's a profound shift in how organizations operate.
It is, and the companies that recognize this shift, that invest in data literacy, that create governance frameworks, that thoughtfully integrate these tools, they're the ones who will thrive. The question isn't whether AI will change data analysis, it's whether you'll be ready when it does. Before we wrap up, let's catch up on this week's infrastructure news. There's a fascinating new development at Anthropic that's got the AI community buzzing. According to discussions on Reddit's Singularity Forum, they're using Claude for recursive self-improvement, essentially having their AI improve itself.
That sounds like we're entering uncharted territory. What are people saying about the implications?
The concerns range from rapid job displacement to ethical considerations about AI systems that can enhance their own capabilities. Some are calling Anthropic the most disruptive company in the world right now.
Speaking of disruption, have you seen what Perplexity is cooking up?
Their personal computer announcement is pretty wild. They're building what they call an AI operating system that provides always-on, local access to all your files, apps, and sessions through a continuously running desktop environment.
So it's like having an AI assistant that actually understands your entire digital workspace.
Exactly. They're accepting waitlist signups now, and it could fundamentally change how we interact with our computers.
Meanwhile, there's drama brewing in the AI world. Forbes is reporting on an Anthropic lawsuit that's uniting AI workers behind the company.
The article highlights how major players like Google, OpenAI, and Microsoft are responding. Plus, there's increasing adoption of AI in government and other sectors. It's becoming a real battleground for AI ethics and worker rights.
Here's something that might surprise you. RunPod's latest infrastructure report shows Qwen has overtaken Meta's Llama as the most deployed self-hosted LLM.
Really? That contradicts everything we've been hearing publicly.
Their serverless deployment logs don't lie. The report also emphasizes how critical performance optimization and security are becoming for these deployments.
NVIDIA just dropped a comprehensive guide on building physical AI for autonomous vehicles and robotics. They're tackling the challenge of running LLMs with high fidelity and real-time interaction at the edge.
That's crucial for self-driving cars and robots that need to make split-second decisions without cloud connectivity.
On the software front, Crew AI just released version 1.1.2A1 as a security release. The highlights include support for tool search that saves tokens and dynamically injects appropriate tools during execution.
They've also added more Brave search tools and fixed several critical bugs, including a lock exception under concurrent multiprocess execution and issues with parallel tool results grouping.
The security fixes are particularly important. They've addressed MCP tools resolutions and eliminated shared mutable connections, plus fixed context propagation to parallel tool call threads.
Definitely worth updating if you're using Crew AI in production. That wraps up today's news.
That's our show for today.
If you found this valuable, please subscribe and share with a friend who'd appreciate it.
Drop us a comment with your thoughts on today's topic.
Links to everything we discussed are in the show notes.
Until next time.